or good afternoon if you're out on the West Coast. My name is Jim Sullivan, and the title of this presentation is Yes, I Can Code with CodeJumper. So this is a slide of a road with a few stopping points along the way to illustrate the idea of today's journey, where we'll do some introductions. We'll talk a little bit about confidence, block coding, and challenges. And then what we'll do is we'll meet a solution that APH launched in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, some resources that go along with that, and then we'll wrap up. So my name is Jim Sullivan. I am the follically challenged individual on the screen there, and I'm assuming that you're also seeing me through the camera. And I work for the American Printing House in Louisville, Kentucky, and my title is Director of Social Enterprise. I have a background in working with adaptive technology for individuals who are blind or visually impaired, and have been with the agency since March of 2020. If you don't know anything about the American Printing House, again, it is based in Louisville, Kentucky. It was founded quite some time ago, 1859. James Buchanan was actually president of the United States. So the agency actually precedes Abraham Lincoln in terms of presidents. And we are a not-for-profit serving individuals who are blind or visually impaired. And we are actually the largest of the nonprofits doing that task here in the United States. And our theme is welcome everyone. We design and sell products that we support specifically for individuals who are blind and visually impaired, who are pursuing education that is something less than college. We are funded primarily through a federal quota system where we receive funding from the federal government to produce and then distribute the products that are used in education to help kids get equal access to that education. So this is a photo of a young girl. She's probably in about the 5th grade, and she's got a very, very confident look on her face. She's looking straight at us, and the title on the slide says, Yes, I Can Code. And that's what we'll be talking a little bit about today. And as we get started with talking about that and that confident young lady, I did want to bring up the idea of confidence and what confidence is, and that is a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's abilities or qualities. And the caption below that says, she is brimming with confidence, just like the young lady on the previous slide. So why do I bring up confidence, or why do I talk about self-esteem? Well, what we know a bit about self-esteem and confidence is that kids with positive self-esteem feel confident and they feel capable. They value themselves and their abilities. They're proud of the things that they can do and want to try their best. And when kids are confident and secure about who they are more likely to have a growth mindset. And that bit of information is coming from the resource understood.org. So I think that we can all agree that when we feel confident about a subject, if we feel confident about our abilities, we are more likely to pursue those. Our interest is there. We'll feel, as the slide states, more capable. We have an idea that we can get better at whatever it is that we are trying to tackle. And so with that, then, along the same lines with regard to a STEM education, and this slide has got a picture of a graphic that says STEM, standing for science, technology, engineering, and math, with some characters or cartoons referring to science. And that is the best time to start teaching students about STEM is in elementary school, since at a student's foundational knowledge of science and math begins forming during their early years, even kindergartens can benefit from STEM lessons. So the point is that the best time to start with this education is when the kids are young. And if we can do that, if we're able to do that, and we're able to do that in an equitable way, we can instill confidence. So why is it that we want to start early with that STEM education? And really, that is all about opportunities. And this is probably no surprise that the national average salary for an IT job is about $81,000, more than double the national average for all jobs. And IT fields is set to expand by 12%, really between 2014 and 2024. So the occupations and opportunities for those who know something about computer science, coding, programming, those opportunities are there. And so again, if we can build kids' confidence, if we can give them opportunities to learn about STEM, about computer science at an early age, the likelihood that they will pursue educational opportunities and career opportunities is greater. And so, as we do that, we do know that there are challenges, right? While 10% of the national workforce has a disability, only 2% of those individuals or 2% of of folks are involved in STEM professions. And we know that there remains a pressing need for resources to ensure that STEM instruction is accessible and inclusive, right? And so this is where CodeJumper, a solution that I just want to take a few minutes to talk about, comes into place. So what is CodeJumper? CodeJumper is a physical programming language that is designed specifically for younger students to introduce them to coding concepts. CodeJumper is something that young students can do to build computer programs that can tell stories or solve problems. And again, it does it in a physical way. Who again is CodeJumper for, and where would you find it? Well, CodeJumper is specifically for elementary school students and middle school students. So it gets right at that idea of starting very early with STEM education, and specifically computer science and coding education. And so where are we going to find this? Well, we're going to be able to find this in group instruction in areas like coding clubs, specifically in STEM curriculum in K-12, and then in summer programs. But if we wanted to, we could also use CodeJumper for individual instruction. So it's pretty versatile. And the photo here is of two young children, and there is a girl who is physically touching one of the pods, which I'll talk about and show here in a moment, to actually build these lines of computer code. So what CodeJumper is doing is introducing kids to block coding. And block coding is that starting point specifically where the entry level or the bar with block coding and getting comfortable with it is quite low. So there is the opportunity for kids to take this on. It's not overwhelming. It's going to teach concepts like what a loop is, for instance, or what a thread is. And historically, block coding is taught with programs like Scratch. But the issue with programs like Scratch is that they're very graphical and often require a drag and drop, which not all of our kids are able to do. And so the programs like this are oftentimes creating a culture where inclusiveness and access is not available for everyone. So CodeJumper is this physical programming language. It is providing a foundation in what block coding is. But unlike Scratch or Blockly, for instance, kids are going to be able to put their hands on it. They're going to be able to manipulate, and they're going to be able to work together to solve problems and build things collaboratively. So it does provide access for everyone. It allows kids to build computational artifacts. They're able to test those, and then they're able to talk and write about them. So How does CodeJumper teach block coding specifically? What the kids are doing, and this young man over here on the left in this photo, he's got a big smile on his face, and there are about a half a dozen of the pods, again, which I'll talk about in a moment, in front of him. And so what CodeJumper is doing is it's allowing this young man to build computer programs that are specifically going to play sound sets. The program itself is going to work with an application that is available for Microsoft Windows, Android, and for the Chrome browser. So these pods are going to interact specifically with applications. The kids are able to construct up to 4 threads for each computer program with something that we call the hub, which I'll point out here in a moment. So these pods connect to this hub, and they can have up to 4 threads, all doing something different for the computer program. And those pods include a play, a pause, a loop, and allows the tool to be able to select sounds, right? So the idea behind CodeJumper, and again, this is a look of a young man who has a confident look on his face to really say, yes, I can code. So let's take a moment to take a look at this with the time that we have remaining. I'm just going to toggle over, and I'm going to bring up the CodeJumper app. And then I'm going to focus in on a camera over here that is pointing out the hub, and specifically our play and our pause pods. So on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see the CodeJumper app. And the first thread is set specifically to people sounds. And the third thread is specifically the sound set is set up for explosions. And here, what we're trying to point out or teach the concept of threads and threading, right? A thread is going to be a sequence of commands that are going to tell the program to do something, and threading are going to be a series of programs, or excuse me, a series of commands that are going to tell the program to do something. So 2 sets of commands that are going on. Sorry about that. It's a little late here in Ohio, and I'm a little past my bedtime. So what I'm going to do here is I am specifically going to unplug the first or the third thread, so you see that it goes away. And I'm just going to point to some of the items in here. So the first thing that I'm pointing to here is our hub. And the hub consists of something that allows us to be able to adjust the sound. All right. And then there is a play button, which will let us play our series of code. And then we have a stop button that will stop the series of code. And if we press these 2 buttons simultaneously, it will actually speak the code out loud for us. So coming off of the hub, I have a play pod, which consists of a knob that allows me to change the sound. And this is a people sound, so that was the sound of a ghost. So I'll go back, or the sound of a scream. And here is how the kids are able actually to be able to do that physical programming. They're actually able to use that knob to change what the sound says. And then they're also able to use a knob to change the rate at which the sound is played. And Siri is chiming in over here. So this first pod is set to play the people sound scream, and it's set to do it at 1.5 times speed. We're going to change that back to 1 time speed. The next pod here in the series is a pause pod. So we can adjust the amount of time in between these 2 play pods, and it does it in terms of beats. So this is set for 2 beats.
1 beat.
I can set it to 1 beat.
Half a beat.
Or half a beat.
1 beat. 2 beats.
We'll go back to 2 beats. So we go here then to our second play pod, where the sound is going to be a surprise, and it's going to play it at 1 time speed. So I really essentially have built a computer program here with this. So I'm going to press my play button and I'm going to trace my code. The pause.
Surprise!
So there it is. So the kids are able to come in and they're able to uh, create that artifact and then test, right? And collaborate and cooperate and discuss what it is that they want to do. So if I'm again talking about this idea of threading where we've got this program that's actually doing two things at one time, that is playing two different sound sets, and I come along and I press my play button, it'll go through and it'll play that program for me, and we could again trace and listen. So let's just take a listen to what this program sounds like.
Surprise!
Oh no!
So because of how we have set the pause pods, we have enabled the program to sort of move at a different speed. And at this particular point in time, depending on what we were trying to do, we could begin to problem solve and collaborate and cooperate and discuss this idea of a thread and threading and commands, and we can physically change those. So the idea here is to enable all kids of all abilities to be able to participate in this curriculum. There's lots of stuff that we could talk about, but we're almost out of time here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and sort of wrap up. So let me go back to here. So we left off on this idea of yes, I can code. You know, again, all kids of all abilities being able to participate at an early age in this computer science curriculum, uh, giving them an opportunity to see if this is for them, allowing them to be able to build their confidence and their self-esteem, to not be doing it by themselves, but to be doing it with their peers. So we met the pods, and so accompanying these pods are lessons. And there are 8 primary lessons, and there are 10 advanced lessons. And the lessons really cover everything from computer systems to loops, to selections and randoms and nested loops. Uh, to kind of follow the kids' progress along, we would encourage them to be journaling, and they can be doing that in whatever way suits them. So whether it's writing, typing, speaking, brailing, whatever the case may be, there's 2 assessments that can be done. They're essentially projects that the kids work on after the primary lesson and the advanced lessons, and there are rubrics that would allow you to score that. And so to kind of continue with follow-up and sharing information, you can find more information about CodeJumper and what it is at www.codejumper.com. You can find out more information about the American Printing House at www.aph.org. Our phone number is 502-899-2215. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out at sales@aph.org. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and toggle back over here. Did we have anybody join us?
I know, James, but that was really good. It was informative. I will say for you.
I appreciate it.
I never knew there is something like this, frankly.
Yeah. What is it that you do?
I'm currently working as an UI developer, but
Did you say you were working as a developer?
yeah,
Software
UI
developer?
developer. Yeah, UI, front-end developer.
UI. Okay. User interface developer. Got it. Okay.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was really sort of born to try to enable kids who are blind or visually impaired who can't access some of those block coding tools, and really this idea of equity, right, and giving all kids a chance.
Mhm.
The curriculum is really pretty extensive, so it's a pretty
Yeah.
neat program. So, all right.
In case if anyone wants to network or get in touch, would it be okay to give your LinkedIn share and the chat here, just in case if people visit afterwards and access
Yeah.
to it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's yeah.
Oh, you want me to put my LinkedIn profile in there?
Mhm.
Is that what? Okay, hold on 1 second. I gotta go to LinkedIn. I dropped it into my profile a little earlier, but hold on 1 second.
Oh,
I can grab it real quick. It's right here. Copy. Let's see. There we go. Okay. This is funny. I do quite a bit of this. Okay, there we go. Control and enter. There we go. Does that work?
yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty. Thank you so much then.
You're
Stay
so
safe.
welcome. Okay. Bye
Sure.
now.